Hello, welcome back to our channel. Days of Our Lives spoilers. A preview for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday reveals unveiled secrets and risky decisions. Tate and Sophia's secret trip abroad is jeopardized when Holly uncovers their deception. Her discovery threatens to expose their situation, leading to emotional fallout and strained relationships. Ava seeks Steve's help, suspecting that Kristen may not be the only one behind the mysterious texts she has been receiving. Although Steve is initially hesitant, he considers taking the case as Ava's situation becomes increasingly dangerous. At the DiMera mansion, Arnold's refusal to leave places EJ in a difficult position. With mounting pressure, EJ must face crucial decisions that could bring even more chaos to his life. Meanwhile, Leo is drawn back into a life of crime to help Doug sell jewelry. Despite his efforts to change, Leo's involvement could lead to serious trouble if the plan goes awry. Let's delve deeper into these captivating storylines together. Days of Our Lives is setting the stage for 3 explosive episodes airing Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, promising drama, intrigue, and steamy developments. Fans should brace themselves for an emotional rollercoaster as secrets unravel, relationships are tested, and lives are forever changed. Here's a closer look at the shocking twists in store for Salem's residents. First up, we delve into the highly controversial storyline involving Tate Black and Sophia Choi. The young couple, caught in the throes of a passionate but tumultuous relationship, is faced with a life-altering dilemma: an unplanned pregnancy. Tate and Sophia, desperate to maintain their freedom and avoid the judgment of their families, hatch a risky plan to travel overseas for an abortion. This scheme, however, is not as airtight as they'd hoped. Enter Holly Jonas, whose involvement threatens to throw everything into chaos. Holly, a perceptive and determined young woman, stumbles upon clues that suggest Tate and Sophia are hiding something monumental. It doesn't take her long to piece together that Sophia is pregnant and that the couple's mysterious trip is an attempt to cover it up. But the situation takes an even darker turn when Holly begins to suspect that Tate and Sophia aren't being entirely truthful with each other. Could it be that one of them is concealing a secret within this already devastating secret? The tension mounts as Holly's curiosity and moral compass lead her straight into the heart of the drama. As Holly digs deeper, she faces a moral quandary of her own. Should she confront Tate and Sophia directly or confide in someone who could intervene? The stakes are high, as her actions could either save Sophia from making a decision she might regret or expose the young couple to public scrutiny and familial disappointment. The layers of deception surrounding this storyline create an intricate web of emotional fallout that promises to leave viewers captivated. Meanwhile, the repercussions of Holly's involvement begin to ripple outward. Days of Our Lives insiders tease that Holly's discovery might be the catalyst for Sophia's parents learning about their daughter's pregnancy. This revelation would undoubtedly send shockwaves through the Choi household, potentially sparking a dramatic confrontation. Sophia's parents, protective yet traditional, are unlikely to take the news lightly, and their reaction could force Sophia to reevaluate her trust in Tate. What's more, the emotional toll on Sophia's family could deepen the rift between her and Tate, further complicating their already fragile relationship. But the drama doesn't stop there. Holly's own relationship with Tate is poised to take a significant hit. The trust between them is shattered as Holly grapples with Tate's duplicity. How could someone she cared about keep such a monumental secret, let alone lie to another woman about something so life-altering? The betrayal cuts deep, and Days of Our Lives hints that Holly may ultimately decide to walk away from Tate, unable to reconcile his actions with her values. If she chooses to leave, it would mark a poignant and transformative moment for Holly, setting her on a new path of self-discovery and independence. As the drama unfolds, Days of Our Lives will explore the far-reaching consequences of Tate and Sophia's decisions, including how their friends and family members react to the shocking revelations. Salem's residents are no strangers to scandal, but this storyline promises to push the boundaries of emotional depth and moral complexity. Characters like Brady Black and Chloe Lane may find themselves drawn into the chaos as they attempt to support their son while grappling with their own feelings of disappointment and heartbreak. How will Tate's parents handle the realization that their son's actions have caused so much turmoil? And what role might they play in helping the young couple navigate the aftermath? Will Sophia's relationship with her parents ever recover? Can Holly find the strength to move on from Tate, or will their shared history pull them back together? And how will Tate's choices shape his future in Salem? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain: Days of Our Lives continues to deliver the kind of compelling drama that keeps viewers coming back for more. In Salem, there is always a story lurking in the shadows, and this time, it involves the charming yet often unscrupulous Leo Stark and the enigmatic Doug Williams III. Leo, who has been trying to keep his life on a more lawful path, finds himself drawn back into the murky world of crime, but this time, not entirely of his own volition. It all begins when Doug approaches Leo with a tantalizing proposition, helping him offload a collection of valuable, and potentially stolen, jewelry. For Leo, the lure of intrigue and the promise of a quick payday proves irresistible. Despite his attempts to reform, Leo has always had a penchant for the thrill of the con. However, this isn't merely a fun caper for him anymore, it's a job with high stakes, especially given Doug's ambitious plans for the jewelry. What Doug intends to do with the profits remains unclear, but his persuasive charm convinces Leo to dive headfirst into the scheme. Initially, Leo tells himself that he is simply helping out a friend. Doug's smooth talking makes the endeavor seem less like a crime and more like an entrepreneurial venture. However, deep down, Leo knows he is walking a fine line. The two hatch a plan to sell the jewelry through Leo's old network of contacts. These connections, a mix of shady dealers and underground brokers, have long helped Leo navigate the fringes of legality. But this time, the stakes feel different, higher, more personal. As the operation begins, Leo finds himself torn between the adrenaline rush of his former life and the nagging voice of his conscience. He's spent months trying to prove to himself and to those around him that he can be better. His budding friendships and tentative steps toward a stable life are now at risk, all because of one ill-advised partnership. Doug, though, seems oblivious to Leo's internal conflict. For Doug, this is a calculated risk, and he reassures Leo that everything will go off without a hitch. Dual spoilers suggest that trouble is brewing for this unlikely duo. Doug's plan seems airtight on the surface, but as the saying goes, the devil is in the details. And when it comes to criminal enterprises, details can be the difference between success and catastrophe. Leo, despite his experience, begins to sense that Doug has underestimated the complexity of their scheme. Selling high-value jewelry without attracting unwanted attention is no small feat. Moreover, Leo's contacts, while reliable in the past, are not exactly the type to take risks lightly. Any misstep could result in the authorities getting involved, or worse, a confrontation with someone even less forgiving than the law. As Leo and Doug navigate the perilous waters of their plan, tension builds. Leo's natural charisma and quick thinking keep them afloat initially, but cracks start to show. Doug's inexperience in this kind of operation becomes apparent, and Leo's patience wears thin. Despite his misgivings, Leo continues to push forward, determined to see the job through and avoid disappointing Doug. Things take a dramatic turn when Leo discovers that one of the pieces of jewelry has a more sinister history than they realized. It's not just stolen property, it's a high-profile item linked to a recent unsolved heist. This revelation sends Leo into a panic. Selling such a recognizable piece could blow their cover and lead to devastating consequences. But when he brings his concerns to Doug, he's met with unexpected resistance. Doug, it seems, is more invested in this operation than Leo initially thought. His motivations, once vague and seemingly innocent, now appear more complex. Is Doug hiding something from Leo? Has he manipulated Leo into taking on more risk than he's willing to admit? These questions weigh heavily on Leo as he struggles to figure out his next move. As the day of the sale approaches, the tension between Leo and Doug reaches a breaking point. Leo's fears about the plan's flaws grow, but Doug remains steadfast. The situation becomes even more precarious when one of Leo's contacts hints at the involvement of a dangerous third party. This individual, a notorious figure in Salem's underworld, has taken an interest in the jewelry and is not someone to be crossed. The sale goes forward despite Leo's misgivings, but disaster strikes when an unexpected complication arises. Whether it's a betrayal, a police sting, or a simple mistake, the fallout is swift and severe. Leo and Doug find themselves in over their heads, scrambling to escape the consequences of their actions. For Leo, this is a harsh reminder of why he tried to leave this life behind. For Doug, it's a wake-up call to the dangers of underestimating the world he's stepped into. The DiMera mansion has always been a hub of drama, secrets, and high-stakes scheming, but the latest developments promise to push E.J. DiMera into a perilous position. At the center of it all is Arnold Feniger, a wildcard in the DiMera orbit who has no intention of making life easy for EJ. Despite EJ's insistence that Arnold return to Argentina, Arnold's reluctance to leave creates a powder keg of tension that's about to explode. Arnold's presence in the mansion is more than an inconvenience for EJ, it's a threat. Spoilers suggest that Arnold has no plans to quietly exit the DiMera stage, and his intentions seem more calculated than mere stubbornness. As EJ works tirelessly to protect his family and the DiMera Empire, Arnold's actions will set the stage for a dangerous dilemma, forcing EJ to consider an unconventional and highly risky solution: trading Arnold for Rafe Hernandez. This wouldn't be the first time EJ has orchestrated such a dramatic exchange. Viewers will recall the chaos and fallout from previous maneuvers involving Rafe, who remains a key player in the ongoing saga. But this time, the stakes are higher, the risks are greater, and the potential fallout could be catastrophic. Arnold's uncanny ability to manipulate those around him ensures that EJ's predicament will only deepen as the plot unfolds. The tension between EJ and Arnold reaches a fever pitch as Arnold subtly undermines EJ's authority within the mansion. Whether it's through veiled threats, cryptic remarks, or strategically timed disruptions, Arnold seems to be playing a long game, one that EJ is struggling to counter. Every move Arnold makes chips away at EJ's control, leaving the once confident DiMera heir scrambling to regain his footing. EJ's desperation to rid himself of Arnold grows as it becomes clear that Arnold's plans extend beyond overstaying his welcome. Arnold's ultimate goal remains shrouded in mystery, but one thing is certain: he's not leaving until he gets what he wants. Could Arnold's endgame involve taking over the DiMera Empire, or is he targeting something even more personal? The uncertainty only adds to EJ's mounting stress. As if Arnold's antics weren't enough, spoilers hint at a game-changing development that will complicate matters further. Arnold is poised to replace Rafe in the near future, a twist that will undoubtedly send shockwaves through Salem. This looming replacement raises a host of questions. What role will Arnold assume once he takes Rafe's place? How will this shift impact EJ's carefully constructed plans? And perhaps most importantly, how will Rafe react to being supplanted in such a dramatic fashion? EJ's decision to trade Arnold for Rafe is fraught with moral and practical dilemmas. On one hand, removing Arnold from the equation could restore a semblance of order to the DiMera mansion and neutralize a growing threat. On the other hand, the ramifications of such a trade are impossible to predict. Rafe is no stranger to the dangers of DiMera schemes, and dragging him into this mess could have unintended consequences for everyone involved. The tension reaches a boiling point when EJ's plan begins to take shape. Will he be able to execute the trade without tipping his hand to Arnold? Can he outmaneuver a man who has proven to be a master manipulator? And what role will other DiMera allies and adversaries play in this high-stakes game? As the pressure mounts, EJ will need to rely on every ounce of cunning and resourcefulness he possesses to navigate this treacherous terrain. Meanwhile, the ripple effects of Arnold's actions are felt throughout Salem. The DiMera mansion becomes a battleground, with loyalties tested and alliances shifting in real time. Family members and associates are drawn into the fray, each with their own motives and agendas. The escalating drama threatens to spill over into the wider community, pulling even more characters into the web of intrigue. One thing is certain: the stage is set for an explosive confrontation that will leave no one unscathed. EJ's journey to resolve the Arnold crisis will test him in ways he never imagined, forcing him to confront not only his enemies but also his own limitations. As the drama unfolds, fans can expect a roller coaster of emotions, shocking twists, and unforgettable moments that will leave them eagerly anticipating what's next for EJ, Arnold, and the rest of the DiMera clan. Stay tuned as the saga continues, and prepare for a storyline that promises to redefine the boundaries of loyalty, power, and survival in the world of Salem. Will EJ emerge victorious, or will Arnold's machinations prove too much for even the formidable DiMera to handle? The answers lie ahead, and they're sure to keep viewers on the edge of their seats. Steve Johnson, known for his relentless determination and sharp investigative skills, is about to dive headfirst into a new and potentially dangerous case. This time, the request comes from someone he knows all too well: Ava Vitali, a woman with a complicated past and a knack for finding trouble. The events leading up to this moment have been nothing short of dramatic, and what lies ahead promises to be even more gripping. It all begins with Ava, who is growing increasingly uneasy about the peculiar chain of events unraveling around her. Mysterious messages have been appearing, each one laced with veiled threats and psychological manipulation. These cryptic notes are more than just unsettling. They are calculated attempts to rattle Ava's composure and leave her questioning her safety. Initially, she suspects DiMera, a woman with a long history of cunning and deceit. However, as the messages continue to arrive, Ava's confidence in Kristen's involvement begins to waver. Could there be another player in this sinister game? Desperate for answers, Ava turns to the one person she believes can uncover the truth, Steve Johnson. Their shared history is a tangled web of betrayal, redemption, and unresolved emotions. Ava knows that asking Steve for help won't be easy. Their relationship has been rocky at best, but she also knows that Steve's sense of justice might compel him to take on her case, despite their troubled past. When Ava approaches Steve with her plea, she does so with a mix of apprehension and determination. She lays out the evidence she has gathered so far, detailing the messages and their unsettling impact on her psyche. Ava's vulnerability is on full display, a rare sight for someone who often exudes confidence and control. She's aware that Steve might be hesitant to help her, given their history and his reservations about getting involved in her drama. Steve listens intently, his expression a mask of skepticism and concern. He knows better than anyone how dangerous it can be to get tangled up in Ava's affairs. Yet, beneath his reservations, there's a spark of curiosity and an undeniable pull toward uncovering the truth. He probes Ava with questions, trying to gauge the seriousness of the situation and determine whether there's more to the story than she's letting on. Ava, sensing Steve's hesitation, sweetens the deal. She assures him that this isn't just another one of her schemes. This time, she genuinely needs his expertise to unravel the mystery and protect herself from an unknown threat. Ava even hints at a reward, though she knows that appealing to Steve's moral compass is more likely to sway him than any promise of payment. As the conversation unfolds, it becomes clear that Ava's fear is genuine. The tension in her voice and the urgency in her eyes speak volumes. Steve's protective instincts kick in, and despite his better judgment, he agrees to take on the case. However, he makes it clear that he's doing this for the sake of uncovering the truth and ensuring justice, not as a favor to Ava. With Steve now on board, the investigation begins. Steve's first step is to scrutinize the messages Ava has received, looking for patterns, hidden meanings, and any clues that might point to their origin. He also starts digging into Ava's recent activities and interactions, trying to piece together a timeline of events. As he delves deeper, Steve uncovers a series of startling revelations that suggest Ava might be in far greater danger than she initially realized. The trail of evidence leads Steve to revisit old enemies and confront new ones. He uncovers a network of deceit and manipulation, where nothing is as it seems. Along the way, he must navigate a minefield of conflicting loyalties, unexpected alliances, and dangerous adversaries. Each step brings him closer to the truth, but it also puts him and Ava in greater peril. Meanwhile, Ava struggles with her own demons as the investigation progresses. The mysterious messages force her to confront her past mistakes and question whether she's truly ready to change her ways. She's torn between trusting Steve to handle the situation and taking matters into her own hands. Her internal conflict adds another layer of complexity to an already intricate case. As the pieces of the puzzle start to come together, Steve realizes that the true mastermind behind the messages might be someone they least expect. The revelations are shocking, and the stakes are higher than ever. Ava's life hangs in the balance, and Steve must race against time to uncover the final pieces of the puzzle before it's too late. This week in Salem, secrets unravel and tensions rise as characters face high-stakes decisions and unexpected challenges. Relationships are tested, alliances shift, and danger looms in these gripping episodes of Days of Our Lives. Thanks for watching our videos. Goodbye.